Berlin, February 1945. The Third Reich crumbles under Soviet bombardment. Among the defenders is Hans Müller, a 16-year-old Hitler Youth volunteer whose diary entries chronicle the city's final desperate stand against the Red Army's advance.
February 15th, 1945. Berlin, Prenzlauer Berg District. Berlin is a city under siege, its streets scarred by bombs, its air thick with smoke. Our Volkssturm unit, a mix of boys and old men, is tasked with defending Prenzlauer Berg against the Soviets. I carry a Panzerfaust, a single-shot anti-tank launcher, heavier than expected. Its metal tube is cold, the trigger stiff. My uniform is patched, Hitler Youth shorts, a Wehrmacht field cap, a tattered greatcoat too big. Boots scavenged from a dead soldier pinch my toes. The Kar 98K rifle has 5 rounds, its bolt gritty with dust. I clean it nightly, but the city's grit is relentless. The streets are rubble-choked, buildings gutted by Allied raids, snow falls, turning craters into icy traps. The wind howls through shattered windows, carrying the stench of burning wood and cordite. Today we fortified a barricade on Schönhauser Allee, piling bricks and tramcars. My hands bled through gloves, the cold numbing my fingers. Soviet artillery thumps in the distance, each blast shaking the ground. T-34 tanks rumble closer, their tracks grinding on cobblestones. Herr Kramer, a 60-year-old grocer with a limp, leads us, shouting orders from a Wehrmacht manual. There are 30 of us, half boys, half elderly. Karl, my friend from the youth, is 15, all bravado but pale under his helmet. He clutches his Panzerfaust like a lifeline. We're to hold the street against tanks. I wonder if the Führer knows we're here. At night I hide this diary in a tin under a floorboard, hoping it outlives me. February 22nd, 1945. Berlin, near Danziger Strasse. The city's a maze of death. Today we patrolled to scout Soviet positions near Danziger Strasse, a kilometer east. Kramer picked me, Karl, Fritz, 17, and Herr Braun, a 65-year-old baker. I led, Panzerfaust slung, Kar 98K ready. Snow muffled our steps, rubble crunching underfoot. I scanned for snipers, breath fogging in the cold. The air smelled of ash and decay, a burnt-out tram smoldering nearby. We moved low, hugging walls, avoiding open intersections. My heart pounded. Every shadow could be a Soviet. At a corner, I spotted tank treads in the snow, fresh. Crouching behind a shattered wall, I saw a T-34, 200 meters away, turret scanning. 3 Soviet infantry stood nearby, PP-esche submachine guns slung, smoking. They hadn't seen us. I whispered to Karl to mark the position. He sketched in his notebook. Fritz's hands shook. Braun wheezed, nearly giving us away. We crept back through alleys. A Soviet sniper's shot cracked, missing us, but Fritz stumbled, twisting his ankle. I pulled him up, hissing, "Move!" Back at the line, we reported to Kramer, who passed notes to Lieutenant Voss, a grim SS officer. The tank's position will be shelled tonight. Karl grinned, slapping my back. We're still here. The patrol's tension lingers. Berlin's streets are closing in. March 5th, 1945. Berlin, Mitte District. Combat never stops. The Soviets are closer, artillery pounding Mitte, where we're redeployed. Today, we defended a barricade on Invalidenstrasse against a Soviet probe. My Panzerfaust was too bulky for close quarters, so I used the Kar 98K. Its stock is cracked, sight misaligned from a fall, taped but barely functional. Herr Weber, a 58-year-old clerk, manned our only MG-34, its ammo belt half empty. no grenades. At 0800, Soviet infantry attacked shadows in the rubble. Their PPS-Ets chattered, bullets pinging off bricks. I crouched behind a sandbag, firing controlled shots. The Kar-98K's recoil bruised my shoulder, each round a prayer. Karl's rifle jammed. I tossed him my spare clip, shouting, "Keep firing!" Weber's MG-34 roared, cutting down a squad, but a mortar round sprayed shrapnel. Weber fell, chest torn open, his screams echoing. Karl dragged me down, yelling, "Move!" We held, but Fritz took a bullet in the leg, crippling him. The Soviets retreated, leaving bodies in the snow. Weber's face haunts me, eyes wide, blood pooling. He taught me to aim, always muttering about his wife's strudel. His loss hits hard. We're down to 22, boys quieter, old men grim. The city's a furnace, burning us away. I cleaned my rifle, hands shaking, gunpowder in my nose. March 15th, 1945. Berlin, near Alexanderplatz. The unit's crumbling, 18 men, half strength. Boys are gaunt, old men coughing, strength gone. Karl's bravado's faded, eyes hollow. New recruits, kids as young as 14, arrived yesterday, clutching rifles they barely handle. Peter dropped his ammo in the snow, crying. I showed him how to load, but he's not ready. None are. Berlin's spring is a lie. Rain and sleet, streets flooded, rubble slick. My boots are disintegrating, soles flapping. The Panzerfaust strap chafes my neck. The Kar-98K's barrel is pitted, cleaned with rags from a dead man's shirt. No oil. I use spit. Rations are moldy bread, watery soup. We scavenged a Soviet canteen with vodka. Karl shared it, hands trembling. Voss ordered a patrol to check Soviet positions near Alexanderplatz. I led with Karl and Peter. We moved at dusk, through flooded alleys, the city a skeleton. The Spree reflected fires, banks muddy. I spotted Soviet sentries across a bridge, helmets glinting, 10 men with a machine gun nest. My pulse raced, but I stayed low, signaling retreat. Peter tripped, splashing water. A Soviet fired, bullet skipping off the street. Karl pulled Peter. We ran. Back at base, Voss cursed our caution, but I saved my men. For now. April 1st, 1945. Berlin, Friedrichshain. The front lines everywhere. Soviets are in Friedrichshain, tanks grinding through streets. Today we fought on Frankfurter Allee. My Panzerfaust was my only hope against armor, but aiming in the open was suicide. The Kar-98K had 3 rounds. I taped a Soviet bayonet to my belt. Our MG-34 was gone. Weber's replacement, 14-year-old Klaus, too weak to carry it. At 1100, a T-34 roared in, 100 meters away. I crouched in a doorway, heart pounding, Panzerfaust crushing my shoulder. Karl, behind a tram, signaled the tank's flank. The air reeked of diesel, ground trembling. Soviet infantry followed, shouts muffled by gunfire. I aimed, sight blurry, and fired. The rocket struck the turret, flames erupting. Karl cheered, but a PPS burst cut him down, blood pooling. I ran to him, bullet snapping, his eyes stared. "Tell my sister," he gasped, then stilled. Karl, who dreamed of flying, gone. I dragged him to cover, hands slick with blood. We repelled the attack, losing 4, including Klaus. Only 12 left. I buried Karl in a crater, his badge in my pocket. The city's a tomb, and I'm still breathing. For what? April 10th, 1945. Berlin, Kreuzberg. The unit's a shadow. 9 men, 3 boys, 6 old men. Peter's here, flinching at every shell. Soviets are everywhere, artillery roaring. Berlin streets are rivers of rubble, air choked with dust. My Panzerfaust is gone, used up. The Kar 98K has 1 round. I carry a brick for close fights. My greatcoat's shredded, patched with a Soviet blanket. Sleet stings, fingers numb. In Kreuzberg, we hold a school-turned strongpoint. Walls cracked, windows gone. Voss visited, SS uniform pristine. "Hold to the last man," he said, eyes wild. I nodded, knowing we're expendable. He promised reinforcements that never come. Goebbels' broadcasts claim victory. Lies. Soviets are blocks away, tanks growling. At night, I shared a scavenged sausage with Peter. He spoke of his mother in Hamburg, voice breaking. I thought of my father, killed at Stalingrad. "Stay sharp," he'd written. I haven't. The city's collapsing, our unit with it. I cleaned my rifle, bolt sticking. Artillery screams, collapsing buildings, Berlin's pulse. Will anyone read this? April 20th, 1945. Berlin, near Tiergarten. The end's near. Soviets are in Tiergarten, shells leveling blocks. We're 6 boys in a cellar near the Reichstag. My Kar 98K's empty. I carry a sharpened pipe, useless against tanks. Boots gone, feet in rags. The city's a furnace, fires lighting the sky. The Spree's choked with debris, bridges blown. Today, we fought on Leipziger Strasse. Soviet infantry stormed our barricade. IS-2 tanks supporting. I threw a scavenged Molotov, flames licking a tank's hull, but it kept coming. Peter fired, hitting a Soviet, but a sniper's bullet took him. He fell, face surprised, blood spreading. Peter, who wanted to see the sea. I dragged him to a doorway, throat tight. Only 4 left. Soviets pushed us back, their numbers endless. A younger boy ran, cut down by a PP tank tracks. Gunfire, screams drowned my thoughts. I fought for Karl Peter, a lost city. My diary's pages are stained, pencil blunt. I hide it in this cellar, hoping it outlives me. April 28th, 1945. Berlin, Mitte. This is my last entry. Soviets are in Mitte. Tanks on Wilhelmstrasse. We're 3 boys in a ruined shop. I have no weapons, only fists. The city's rubble, air black with smoke. Shells scream, buildings collapse. My body aches, lungs burn. I think of Karl's laugh, Peter's dreams, my father's letters. They're gone, and I'll join them soon. Today, we will face another Soviet assault. I'll fight, not for the Führer, but for my friends, and for the people of Berlin.
Hans Müller fell on April 28, 1945, during a Soviet assault on his position in Mitte, Berlin, days before Germany's surrender.